Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Elizibar. This is Siren's Gate number 1. So, what's the hype? The hype is everybody likes Shannon Maer, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Covers. Everybody likes his covers. Been a cover artist for a couple of years now, making lots of money, I hope. Producing sometimes some pretty cool stuff. This is his first work as an interior artist, and also, I guess, his first work as a writer. I'm not sure on that point, and I don't think it really matters, but he is the writer and the artist on this book. In fact, let's just crack this open, and you can see. Boom. Also did the lettering, which, frankly, I'm not like too enamored with the lettering. You see what I'm talking about? Like, if this had been on matte paper, this would look pretty cool. There's some really dark shots in here. And the fact that it's on glossy paper, let me get an example. I think I showed this one off on stream. Yeah, like this. The fact that it's on glossy paper, if you have even just a little bit of light, makes it really hard to read. It looks worse on camera than it is in reality, but it's not that great in reality either. This would have looked a lot cooler on worse paper stock. And I'm also not really like enamored with the lettering. It's doing all these weird kind of angled balloons and stuff. And the stop bubble doesn't have a balloon around it. There's little stuff like that, and it's killing me. I'll say this. This page actually looks like it was painted a little bit. Like, if you look at the hair. Okay. And this is important, because we're going to come back to the art here in a second. Because the art's the big selling point. Like, nobody expects a first-time writer-artist to hit, like, a home run out of the ballpark and just go, kunk, and get, like, a perfect 10 or something like that. No, nobody expects that. I don't expect that. That would be silly to expect that. But what you're expecting when somebody has a reputation as being a great artist is that the interior art should be fantastic. I don't know that... I can't even tell what's going on in some of this stuff. I don't know that you can say it's fantastic. In fact, some of the time, and we're gonna like make YouTube mad. Some of the time, I swear, like it's just a 3D model. Maybe the hair's painted on, but it just looks like a 3D model. And that's a problem I have with a lot of the stuff in the book, is the characters look, most of the time, very stiff. They look like somebody posed a Figma, or they look like somebody painted over a 3D model, and they didn't put much dynamicism into what's going on. This is obviously like trying to titillate us right here. And like I can't get into this lettering, man. It looks like how do I put it? It looks like cell phone text messages, right? Like you've texted somebody on a modern cell phone. It feels like that. Like that's what those bubbles feel like in the lettering. The storyline, this lady is, gosh, where do I start? So there's backstory to her. Like she apparently died and came back from death, and that turned her hair white. We start off with like these soldier dudes, and like somebody, this character here, just rolls in and murders her and then leaves. And he's calling for evac and stuff. I don't understand what that has to do with the rest of the story. I'm sure it'll tie in later. There's a werewolf as well in the book. Man, I'm looking at this and I'm just like, I don't want to like start nitpicking like the logo and stuff because it looks like Stargate. Like it looks like somebody looked at the Stargate logo and wanted to reproduce it, without making it look like they copied the homework. I showed like 5 pages. Here, hold on. I think this is a good example. See what I mean? Like, doesn't it just look stiff? It doesn't look like the person who's being choked is in motion. And I don't know how to explain it more than that. It's like some of those early issues of Savage Avengers where it was very obvious that they were just tracing over a 3D model. There's something like that going on here, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Over here, we got like some gunfire. Something about his arm is bothering me, where he's holding the gun. It looks stubby. I think it's just the angle, but you get what I'm saying, right? I wanted to go into this liking it, but I picked it up on the shelf at the bookstore, at the comic book store, and I flipped through it and I went, man, this doesn't look that great. There's not that many panels. Each two-page spread seems to have like 4 panels across the 2 pages. I think that's kind of like the average. There's not a lot of dialogue. There's not a lot of indication of what's going on. Characters don't really present a whole lot of emotion, even when they should, because for whatever reason we choose angles where we're not being shown their faces for those emotions. Sometimes not. Like you can clearly see what's about to happen here. If you can even clearly see the person on the right, who I think is supposed to be a vampire, I'm not 100% sure, but that's my guess. Like if you can even make out who that person is under these conditions, um, there's about to like have some makeouts. Like here's the oh no face. I don't know that it works. There's just lots of little things like that. It comes across as very much being somebody's first book, for better or for worse. The book could have probably used some tighter editorial control, like, hey, Shannon, maybe you should try this angle instead. Which I understand, that's not really probably feasible for what they're doing. So I get it. I really do. So can I recommend you buy this? I don't think I can. It's interesting, but kind of interesting for the wrong reasons, if you know what I mean. So that's Siren's Gate #1. You all have a great one. And yeah, I kind of waited to put this up like towards the evening so I'd be forced into using the lighting conditions under which I read the book for you to experience the book. So you basically, with all this glare and stuff everywhere, got the book experience that I got. Matte paper would have went a long way to making this book look really good. That's just my opinion, though. And you should feel free to disagree with me. Bye-bye.